So I just happened to have all this personal experience with Richard Nixon. When I turned 18 or 19, I was in Oklahoma and I wasn't going to school, so I got drafted. And I had to go to Oklahoma City in an army bus with all these guys that I'd grown up with and stand in line all day in Oklahoma City in my underwear being tested. And finally, I was going to go to Vietnam. So I checked the box. And that meant I got called in to have a meeting with this big fat army sergeant. And he saw that I had checked the homosexual box. And he said, this is just a phase you're going through, right? I said, no, sir. You know this is going on your permanent record, right? Yes, sir. Get out of here. So I avoided dying in Vietnam. I went to New York and I got in the chorus of No No Nanette. And it ended up being the hit of the decade. So everybody who was anybody came. And we would all wait on stage after the show and meet Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and all of the greats from the old days of Hollywood. And one of the people who showed up was Richard Nixon. So there I am standing on the stage of the 46th Street Theater in full chorus boy makeup with eyeliner and blush and and Bob Kelly makeup, shaking hands with Richard Nixon, who could barely contain his revulsion, and his face looked like a rubber Halloween mask with a seam down the middle of his nose, like you could see where the rubber had been poured into the mold. He didn't look real at all. So I thought that was the end of my Richard Nixon story. But then I go to open the Kennedy Center with Alvin Ailey's company and Leonard Bernstein's Mass. And Judith Jemison, because she was a big star, is staying at the Watergate. So one day she comes to rehearsal and Judith says, I don't know what's going on in my hotel, but there's Secret Service and CIA on every floor, and you have to show your identification to get on and off the elevator. Well, I wouldn't find out until I got back to New York that we were there when Watergate happened. And then I thought that was the end of the Nixon story for me. But when the Nixon files tapes were finally released, I ended up hearing this. I always wondered why the sitting president of the United States didn't come to the opening of the Kennedy Center, Leonard Bernstein's Mass. He just didn't show up. And then I hear the tapes. I'm not shaking hands with that faggot, Leonard Bernstein, kissing men on the lips. Disgusting. And that was the end of my Richard Nixon connection.